choose exercises that engage the greatest amount of muscle that you can versus exercises that isolate muscles. Hey, it's Thomas Tadlock. You know what I thought I'd do today is break down for you some of the components of the workouts that I've created over the years. So a long time ago, I had one of the largest fitness indoor boot camps in all of Orange County, California, and we got really good results. And one of the biggest reasons for that was the exercise design. So how I chose the exercises to be able to help produce the greatest amount of calorie burn and fat loss that we could get for our clients. And I'm gonna show you an example of a workout that you can get this for free. You just go to SmoothieShred.com, go to the video section, and you'll find this workout. I'm gonna show you what it is about each exercise that helps burn so much more calories than your typical exercises. And then what you can kind of do is use these principles to kind of design workouts on your own that'll be just as effective. So what I've done is I've got the video of the workout tutorial right up here, and I fast forwarded a little bit so we can get to the exercises. I want to break it down for you kind of frame by frame.
So the first circuit you're going to put together when performing this workout.
Okay, so here, I'm gonna pause it right here. Let's get this out of the way. The first thing I want you to understand is for our boot camp workouts, we always use circuits. And what a circuit is we're gonna do the first exercise for about 30 to 60 seconds and then go immediately into the second exercise and do that for 30 to 60 seconds. After we're done with the second exercise, we go back to the first one. So we just repeat this, 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2, for a total of 4 times. So I'm doing this one 4 times, I'm doing this one 4 times. So in total, after this whole thing is done, I've done approximately 8 total sets of these exercises. Now, the other thing to notice too is that we're not doing reps, we're doing timed amounts. So it's really however many reps you can accomplish for this duration. Because when it comes to calories burned, it's all about the amount of time that your muscles spend under tension. The more time you force your muscles to spend under tension, the more calories you burn, and the more fat you get off your body. And the second thing is, and I'm gonna show you in this, when you see the workouts, we also wanna get more muscle tissue involved. So more calories burned more time spent under tension means more calories burned, but more muscle that's under tension means more calories burned.
The first one's called the jump, crawl, push-up, and the second, start by jumping as high as you can, then you're gonna walk out on your hands until your body is straight, and then you simply do a push-up, walk back on your hands.
Okay, let me break this down a little bit for you. So this exercise, very different than your typical gym exercise, right? It's not the same thing as like a bicep curl or a chest press. The reason why something like this burns 5 to 10 times more calories than your typical bodybuilding exercise is because the amount of muscle tissue involved. You see, I'm combining several different movements together so that I'm working my upper body and my lower body. So in this case, we're gonna go ahead and slowly back it up so you can see. When I jump, the first thing I do is I jump up. Oops, there we go. So here I am in the air. I'm jumping up. So that's an explosive movement. I'm using my core and my legs to launch off into the air as high as I possibly can. So the cool thing about this is because I'm jumping up as hard as I can, I'm actually I'm fully maximally contracting my muscles, but without the danger of huge amounts of weight. That's a good thing when it comes to safety. And it's also sustainable because I can do this rep after rep after rep. And if I get too tired, well, I just don't jump as high. It's not like when I have a super heavy weight on my back, if I get too tired, I fail and I need a spotter and then I can't get back up again. So in this case, I start with a jump. So obviously that's gonna be core and upper body. Then what's gonna happen is I land, and then when I land, I crawl out into a straight arm plank to a push-up. So all of that right there, when I crawl out, that's obviously upper body and core. So I am stressing all of my abdominal muscles when I do that. I'm stressing my upper body muscles to be able to hold myself up. And then when I go down to a push-up, well, since I'm there, I might as well. I go into the push-up and then now I've got arms and chest. And then basically as I come back up, I go and repeat the process again. And I just do this for repetition after repetition after repetition. I do this for time. And the whole goal of this is to get as exhausted as I can in that 30 to 60 seconds. So all together, what I'm working is legs to upper body and core the entire time. Leg muscles, upper body muscles, and core the whole time. So you think about that. I mean, that's all of this, all of this, all of this, and all of this, all firing. And I've got them under tension for 30 to 60 seconds. That's a lot of calorie burn with just one exercise. Now let's move on to the next one. So here's a, whoops.
If you're outside.
So here's a little more less impactful exercise, but again, it's going to be using a lot of different muscles. So this is primarily a core-based exercise. I'm sitting on my butt, but I'm using my legs and my core muscles. So in this case, all of this right here is flexing really hard to be able to bring my legs in. It's a form of a crunch, and I've got some quad involvement. Now what I'm doing is when my legs are straight, I'm squeezing my quads as tight as I possibly can. This, combined with the fact that I do have to balance a little bit, fires my core muscles and all the muscles that line my spinal cord to make them all flex to burn extra calories. So we're getting a high amount of calorie burn. This is still high compared to your typical traditional bodybuilding exercises. When you do bicep curls, for example, the only muscle tissue that you're using to burn calories for you is just right here, this little bit, just this little piece and this little piece. But in this case, I'm using large muscles of the abdominals and the core to burn calories. Okay, so we go back and forth between these two exercises, and then that completes the circuit. Let's move on to circuit number 2. So once I've done 4 rounds of the previous one, I'm gonna take a little break. About a minute is all you really want or need, and then you go into the next 2 exercises. So what I have here is an exercise called a plank combo and this thing called a jumping jack combo. What I want you to notice about this, don't worry about the names, just notice how I have set the circuit up. It's 2 exercises which are done back to back, and you're gonna spend 30 to 60 seconds doing each one 4 times each. So once you're done with this, you've completed a full 8 sets.
We're going to perform 2 type done on your. Let me show you how it's done. Find a spot on your floor, lie down on your side. I'm going to start on my right elbow, and straighten your body out, and then just lift your hips up and down.
Okay, now the thing to notice about this is that this is another exercise that works a huge number of muscles. When we do these type of exercises, we're not working one particular muscle. We're working an entire side of the body at once, because one obvious area of muscle tissue are going to be your oblique and abdominals right here that allow you to bring your hips up and down. But what you're not seeing too is we're using the muscles up here that help straighten my legs and then lift this up as well. So you've got muscles right here attached to the hip that are helping you lift this up, because your abs and this part of your hip, the muscles that line your hip, have to work in conjunction to be able to lift you up and down. So I've got all this working for me, and I've got all this working for me. And if you've ever done this exercise, you'll know that the shoulder muscle gets really tired on this. So the shoulder muscle right here has to work very, very hard to also stabilize the upper body. So I've got shoulder, I've got this whole side of my abs, and I've got this whole side of my hip and the muscles that are attached to it all working hard together. Now, to get a little extra calorie burn when I do this, it's always best to be as straight as possible. So I give a little extra squeeze right here in the quads for extra calorie burn, and I give a squeeze behind in my glutes for even more calorie burn. So that's how I can recruit my legs and my glutes, in addition to my abs, obliques, shoulder, and the muscles that attach to my hip. Here's the second, whoops.
On the floor. Let me move right into lower back pain. You're going to come right back up.
Now, this is a typical straight on floor plank, and all I'm doing is I'm bringing my hips down to the ground and then right back up. And don't laugh, I know what this looks like, but yeah, it is. It's what it is. But it is also an exercise, because I am firing all of this, not just my abs, but my quads have to fire as well, just to be able to keep my legs straight, and my upper body, my arm muscles, my shoulders, my chest, all of that has to fire and flex in order to keep my upper body off the ground. So the whole front side of my body is working, not just one muscle. Again, a lot of calorie burn. So we do this 4 times each, knock out 8 sets, and that completes that circuit. Here's another one. This is a This is another, okay, jumping jack combo. Here we go. Okay, so here's another exercise. This is a jumping jack combo, and what it is just combining different ways of doing a single exercise. So we've got your standard jumping jack. Then so in this case, we do about 6 jumping jacks, and then we drop down, and then we do something that kind of looks like a jumping jack, except your legs stay straight. You're just gonna jump out and then jump back in. What this is just to mimic the bouncing movement. So the jumping jacks, you're jumping up and down, and then you drop down, and then you're firing your upper body muscles again, and you're pulling your knees in and out, so it's forcing your core to fire while also hitting your legs really hard. So we got a lot of muscle tissue engagement going on, huge amount of calorie burn. Next circuit. We're gonna do, again, 4 sets of 30 to 60 seconds, and then 4 sets of 30 to 60 seconds using a squat, curl, row, and flies. So let me show you what that looks like. Again, the name's not that important. So this one's gonna require some bands. There we go. Okay, so let's look at the breakdown on this. So we're gonna do squat, a bicep curl, and then a row. Okay, so the first part of this is the squat. When you squat down, it's obvious what this is. You are working your legs, so your leg muscles, your glute muscles, they're gonna be firing when you do this exercise. But once you stand up, well, they're not gonna be working that hard anymore. So then what we do is, since we're up there, let's use this opportunity to work some upper body stuff. So we're gonna start with the biceps. So right now, you're working your biceps. Now, you can tell, obviously, my arms are working really hard, but because of the direction of the band itself, what's happening is it's forcing all of my muscles of my back to fire and contract just to keep me from flying forward. Because if my back muscles weren't firing, what would happen is this band would yank me forward. So in order to keep upright, all of my erector muscles, the muscles that line my spine, they have to be in full flex just to keep me upright. And the same thing's going on with my legs, because again, this band wants to throw me forward, so my legs are fighting just to stay in that position. So it looks like it's just a bicep exercise, but it is not. It is a bicep exercise, it is a back exercise, and it is a leg exercise all at the same time. And then finally, there's the row component, and that's how we hit our rhomboids and our lats. So we're basically hitting the entire upper body and the bicep muscles and the legs all in one little combo movement. All right, now here's the second exercise. Now this looks like a simple kind of fly, right? Have you ever done dumbbell flies before? But it's not. The difference in the amount of muscle tissue that's being engaged here versus a typical dumbbell fly that you would do on a bench is tremendously different. You see, when you're on a bench, you're resting. So the only thing that's working are your chest and your arm muscles. I mean, that's it. Your shoulder muscles, your chest muscles, I mean, and your biceps are stabilizing a little bit, but nothing else is doing anything. When you're standing up like this, and I've got the band yanking my body backwards, it's forcing all of the muscles of the front of my body, my core, has to fire to keep me upright, because what it's trying to do is trying to bend me backwards, but these muscles right here have to fire to keep me forward. So these are engaged and flexed, and they're getting tired, and they're feeling this as I'm doing this fly. So I'm getting the same benefit from the fly that I would normally get out of like a traditional dumbbell fly or a machine pec deck, but I'm also getting the added benefit of all of my core and abdominal muscles and a lot of my leg muscles firing and flexing the entire time. So they're getting a workout just as much as they're getting a workout by doing it this way. So again, you alternate between this and the other exercise. You do each of those 4 times, and that's gonna give you a total of 8 sets. So just this workout alone, there's 3 different circuits. You're doing 6 different exercises. In those 6 different exercises, you're doing 4 sets each. That is 24 4 sets of exercise. And a routine like this can be done in as little as 18 minutes at home or at the gym. So where to get this is you just simply go to smoothieshred.com. You go to the video training section and you'll find the video there. There's a couple other workouts and some tutorials. And if you want to get more support, you might want to check out our programs, but feel free to message me if you have any questions about this. We teach this in detail in our Vegan Tummy Tightener program. We also teach this in detail at our Amazing Fitness and Health live seminars. But what I want you to get out of this video is a couple principles. I want you to use, for fat loss, use the principles of circuits so that you waste the least amount of time not being productive with muscular engagement and calorie burning. Number 2, choose exercises that engage the greatest amount of muscle that you can versus exercises that isolate muscles. Because remember, the more muscle that is working, the more calories you're burning. Okay? And that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like and subscribe. We're putting out videos every single week, almost 5 or more times per week. So make sure you click the notification bell to get notified the next time a new video comes out. My name is Thomas Tadlock and I am from smoothieshred.com. Thanks so much.